Hi, my name's Greg Lopez, and I've been asked by my friend Christina to share with you a little bit about my blog. Um, I live in Oregon in the United States of America, and I'm an advocate for kids and young adults that battle a disease. It's a rare disease called Batten disease. Um, and I do so, I advocate for them through the blog that I write. And in that blog, I tell their stories, and it's to bring awareness to the disease, but mostly to honor the families that battle Battens. Christine is a friend, a dear friend, and one that I've known for a while now. And she asked me to talk a little bit about what I do in the blog. First of all, I wanted to share with you the web address for the blog, and kind of a different name, but here it is, www.gregster60.com. And there's a story behind how I came up with that name. Not a very big one, but a story nonetheless. How the entire blog came about. It started as one thing and ended up being another, and now it's pretty much exclusively devoted to telling these stories. And I explain that how it came about in one particular blog that you can find on the blog site, and it's called "The Blog About My Blog." The link to that is on the right hand side of the blog, and you can find it there, or you could just Google gregster60.com, the blog about my blog. One of the most prominent families in that particular blog is Christina and her family, because she has a lot to do with the development of the blog, and she's also done a lot to spread awareness about the blog. When she tells Theodore's story, she tells people a lot of the time through the blog that I wrote about her and Theodore. So how this works is I work with the families through social media. I'll ask questions, and as time has gone on, I've gotten better at asking questions to where I'm kind of a journalist, and I'll interview families, and I'll get the information that I need to tell their story about their battle with Batten disease and the things that they've been through and where they're going, and so it's just developed over time, and it's the stories have gotten longer, and they have more detail now. And anyhow, so what I was going to say is, so when it comes to these stories, what I'll do is I'll work with the family and I'll write the story, and then I will I'll look. I include pictures in the blog to help tell the story. And what I do is I go looking through pictures, and I find the one that I think best represents the story. And when I input the blog, that first picture in the blog will go on to be associated with that story. So if you look it up by title, if you were to Google that title, and the story would come up, that particular picture would be with the title of the blog. Now, when it came to Christina's story, it was a little bit different, because when it comes to her story, it was actually the picture actually inspired me to write about her story, and I would like to share that picture with you. I have it right here. As soon as I get my password in, so let me turn it and bring that down, and there it is right there. Can you see that? Beautiful mom and handsome son. and together they battle Batten disease. But I was awestruck by this picture. And if you go to the blog, it's called Face to Face, a Fairy Tale. And I did it in, I believe, March of 2017. And by the way, in the blog itself, on the right-hand side of the blog, I've created a table of contents. I did this because I didn't want stories to get lost in the blog. I wanted people to be able to go and find a particular story by title and look at it anytime they want. So that's on the right-hand side. It's a month and year, and you can associate it with the title and find that. Also at the top of the blog, there's a link to BDSRA, which is the Batten Disease Research and Support and Research Association. And you can click on that link and it'll tell you more about the disease. Anyhow, where I was going is I was going to tell you about the picture. When I saw this picture, it inspired me to write the story about Christina and Theodore and their entire family. And so as I looked at the picture, these words came to me, and this is the way the blog starts. It starts like this: awestruck. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it is also true that some pictures leave you speechless. Both thoughts, I believe, are true when it comes to this picture. It both leaves me speechless, but at the same time caused me to ponder a question. What kind of love must exist between Christina and her son Theodore? This picture showing them face to face tells a story without a word even being spoken. I immediately was inspired to tell their story after seeing the picture. There is no way that I could adequately tell it in full with one article. And then I go on from there. Anyhow, so that's the way that Christina and Theodore's story is different. So the thing about Christina is that first of all, let me back up a little bit. When these parents find out that their children have this disease, it's rare. There's not a lot of knowledge about it. It's fatal, and there is no cure. So the families are devastated when they find the news, and a lot of the time, what happens is they go on a search for answers, and the child is given many different diagnoses. A lot of times, the medical community in the area doesn't even know what the disease is. And then once the answer is found, it leaves the family devastated. But generally what happens is they regain their composure and they decide that they need to take action. And part of that action is to help the child fight the disease as best that they can. And the other thing is to give the child the best quality of life that they possibly can. Knowing that one day that they're going to lose their child. And a lot of the parents will become advocates because of the fact that the disease is not that well known. And the problem is a disease that is not well known doesn't get a lot of attention. If a disease doesn't have a lot of attention, then it doesn't get funding for research towards a cure. So that is why we do what we do as advocates. When it came to Christina, she became a big advocate for not only Theodore, but also for people in the entire Batten community. The disease in her home country of Greece was not that well known at all. She went on a search for answers to various other places and eventually came up with the answer. And as a result, she resolved that she was going to help Theodore fight, but also she was going to tell people about the disease. So she went on social media and she's become a big presence there, and not only on social media, but she has enlisted the help of like professional athletes in her country, actresses and actors, to help get the word out and spread awareness. And then she's also started a website called Theodore's Miracle, and she uses whatever means she can to spread awareness. And I'm sure that she's also worked as much as she can with the medical community in promoting research and funding for a cure and all the things that are necessary to make progress towards a cure. Christine is, like I said, is a dear friend. I really consider it an honor to work with her, and an honor to know her. She's a great mom. She's a great advocate, and like I said, just a tremendous person. I really am just honored and flattered that she has made a big deal out of my writing. And in the early days when she was introducing herself and Theodore and their story to all the different people that she would meet on Facebook, she would do so by sharing the blog that I wrote about them. So my blog has that, for that reason, that particular blog about her and Theodore and really their whole family was is the most viewed story of them all, and I'm really honored to have helped in that way, and I want to continue to work with Christine in every way that I can. And Christine, I just hope this helps, and keep up the good work. And thanks for having me along.